If ever a time should come when vain and aspiring men shall possess the highest seats in government, our country will stand in need of its experienced patriots to prevent its ruin. Samuel Adams. Once the swamp is drained and the deep state is revealed in all of its repugnance, as it goes into cardiac arrest, America, to put it mildly, will go into shock as control of our nation falls into the hands of a few people, thus creating a vacuum or a void that must be filled by the people. We, the people, must be sober minded and prepared with a plan to fill that void by taking our rightful seat of power. Therein the reason for this essay, because only educated patriots can save America. The price of freedom is eternal vigilance. Thomas Jefferson. No government can continue good but under the control of the people, and their minds are to be informed by education and what is right and what is wrong, to be encouraged in habits of virtue, and to be deterred from those of vice. These are the teachings necessary to render the people a sure basis for the structure and order of government. Because if a people expect to be ignorant and free, they expect what never was and never will be. In 1776, our founding fathers set the cornerstone of our republic by proclaiming all just powers and the people under the common law, and not the laws of men, as is with other republics, and by calling upon nature's God entitled us to his unalienable rights, thereby creating a covenant between we the people and our Creator that cannot be broken but by his wrath. We the people have assumed among the powers of the earth the separate and equal stations to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle us, and that we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. Declaration of Independence, Preamble. We need only look to our founding documents and our common law history to learn how the people can be restored to power. The common law demands that we, the people, stop thinking like the slaves that we were and start thinking as the free men we were meant to be. This requires a maturity within us to accept responsibility for our own actions and the rights of others to exercise liberties that we may or may not agree with. The attitude that we need the state to restrain people's behavior is repugnant to God and is precisely what placed America's liberty in jeopardy in the first place. This was a direct assault upon our Bill of Rights, enabling the construction of a statutory prison that has enslaved us all. Dwight Eisenhower said, "We have never stopped sin by passing laws, and in the same way, we are not going to take a great moral ideal and achieve it merely by law." It is here where a proper education and a moral compass plays his role. As Thomas Jefferson said, "I prefer dangerous freedom over peaceful slavery." Liberty demands that we do not permit the state to legislate our behavior. We, the people, by the power and authority vested in us by God, ordained the Constitution for the United States of America, therein creating three branches of governments, whose only commission is to accomplish six prime directives. 1. To form a more perfect union. 2. To establish justice. 3. To ensure domestic tranquility. 4. To provide for the common defense. 5. To promote the general welfare. And 6. to secure the blessings of liberty. Any legislative, administrative, or judicial action at any level of government that does not accomplish or support one or more of the aforesaid directives is without authority and thereby null and void. As we read in the preamble of the Constitution, we, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. The law of the land. The Declaration of Independence, being a covenant with God, is a foundation of all law, also known as the common law. The Constitution, being the law of we the people, is the framework of all government authority and jurisdiction. The Capstone Bill of Rights, being the law of God, is the judge of all government acts and is not to be violated but by his wrath. These three founding documents clearly define the order by which all authorities flow. Number 1, laws of nature's God. 2, laws of we the people. And 3, lawful acts of government. Any act of legislation, administration, or adjudication that cannot trace its authority back to the Constitution is an unlawful act, and the proper remedy against any such act is nullification. The law of the land, also known as the Supremacy Clause, found in U.S. Constitution, Article 6, and it reads, "This Constitution and the laws of the United States which shall be made in pursuant thereof, and all treaties made or which shall be made under the authority of the United States, shall be the supreme law of the land, and the judges in every state shall be bound thereby. Anything in the Constitution or laws of any state to the contrary, notwithstanding." The authority of the legislative branch is limited and defined under Article 1 of the Constitution. The authority of the executive branch is limited and defined under Article 2 of the Constitution. And the authority of the judicial branch is limited and defined under the Article 3 of the Constitution. Courts of law and enforcement. Common law court is the place where the sovereign sojourns. In other words, the king's law rests. Patrick Henry said, "It cannot be emphasized too strongly or too often that this great nation was founded not by religionists, but by Christians, not on religion, but on the gospel of Jesus Christ. For this very reason, people of other faiths have been afforded asylum, prosperity, and freedom to worship here." God is the King of kings. He is the King of the court. And it is his law, the common law, the law of the land. Revelations 19, verse 16. 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 17. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Court is comprised of a tribunal, which is the king's bench, made up of 12 jurors, who represent the king of the court and decide both law and facts. Law is written in the hearts of men. Romans chapter 2, verses 14 through 15. 2. A magistrate who certifies and administrates the will of the king's bench. And 3. A chief executive and administrator officer, also known as the sheriff or U.S. Marshal, who enforces the will of the king's bench. We have government by consent. We read in the Declaration of Independence, "To secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed." Amendment 5 No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on a presentment or indictment of a grand jury. Thereby, we the people consent to the judicial process. No court may proceed against one of the people without first receiving the consent of we the people through an untainted grand jury. So why are there so many people serving jail sentences without ever being indicted? The answer is because we the people are ignorant of our founding documents and their common law. Amendment 6. In all criminal prosecution, the accused shall enjoy the right of a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury. Thereby, we the people consent to the innocence or the guilt of one of the people. No judge may convict one of the people. Only we the people, through an untainted petit jury, may consent or not to a person's guilt. So why are there so many people serving jail sentences without ever being tried by a jury? The answer is because we the people are ignorant of our founding documents and their common law. Only we the people can nominate candidates for public office through the committeeman process. So why are there so many constitutionally ignorant people and criminals elected to office without ever being nominated by the people? The answer is because we the people are ignorant of our founding documents and their common law. We the people never consented to the licensing of our rights and controlling of our behavior through legislation. So why have our servant legislators written thousands of statutes controlling us as if we are their servants? The answer is because we the people are ignorant of our founding documents and their common law. Why are we ignorant of the fact that we the people, through the committeeman, have the ability to recall any elected servant if they refuse to honor their oath? The answer is because we the people are ignorant of our founding documents and their common law. Why are we ignorant of the fact that we the people through the grand jury have the ability to indict any elected servant if they refuse to honor their oath, thereby removing them from office? The answer is because we the people are ignorant of our founding documents and their common law. Why is it that our elected servants take bribes from special interest groups to do their will and not the will of we the people who elected them? The answer is because we the people are ignorant of our founding documents and their common law. The Declaration of Independence tells us, whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it. Why do we have government that suppresses and terrorizes we the people? The answer is because we the people are ignorant of our founding documents and their common law. Campaign for constitutional sheriffs. The sheriff is the chief executive and administrative officer of the county, chosen by popular election, whose duty is to keep the peace and enforce the Bill of Rights. His law enforcement powers are supreme. The sheriff can only be removed from office by the ballot box, impeachment, or indictment for violating his oath. The office of the sheriff goes back more than 1,300 years. He is the chief executive and administrative officer of the county and the courts. Courts of justice cannot function without a sheriff, also known as a bailiff. Any county without a sheriff is a lawless county. National Liberty Alliance provides a free, proper education regarding our founding documents and its common law for the people and our sheriffs, which is the only solution to keep America great by exercising our consent. If a people expect to be ignorant and free, They expect what never was and never will be. Thomas Jefferson. If sheriffs had a proper education, it would empower them to enforce the true law of the land. Sheriffs would stop all unconstitutional warrants. Sheriffs will stop IRS liens, thereby closing down the deep state's debtors' prison. Sheriffs would stop non-judicial mortgage home foreclosures. Sheriffs would stop non-judicial property tax foreclosures. Sheriffs would prevent incarceration without indictment and trial by jury. Sheriffs would prevent federal SWAT teams from breaking down our doors in the middle of the night and terrorizing our families. Sheriffs would prevent the enforcement of all unconstitutional statutes. Sheriffs would empower the people by enforcing our Bill of Rights. Sheriffs would enforce our consent. National Liberty Alliance's plan to restore the power of consent to we the people. Our campaign for constitutional sheriffs will facilitate a proper education for sheriffs and their deputies by sending 20 or more Sheriff's Pockets handbooks to every sheriff in America and facilitate a place where they and their deputies can receive a proper education and communicate and organize with other like-minded sheriffs across their state and our nation. You can read a PDF copy of our Sheriff's Pocket Handbook at powerofthecountysheriff.org. President JFK in 1963 said, "Today we need a nation of Minutemen, citizens who are not only prepared to take up arms, but citizens who regard the preservation of freedom as a basic purpose of their daily life, and who are willing to consciously work and sacrifice for that freedom." National Liberty Alliance was founded in 2014 to facilitate a constitutional education and provide a platform for people to communicate and organize at the grassroots level as well as on a national level, vowing an oath to God to proceed with a sense of honor, justice, and mercy. To date, National Liberty Alliance is organized with 12 national coordinators, 112 federal district leaders, 93 state coordinators, 1,225 county organizers, and 131 committees of safety, and a membership of about 6,500 people poised to take control at the grassroots level when the aforesaid swamp is drained. Join us. To date, we have 1,009 grand jury administrators preparing to fill the 12,500 seats across the nation required to take back our judiciary. And we need an average of 200 people as committeemen in each county to take back and maintain our political process. Committeemen are the people on the grassroots who nominate the candidates to be on the ballot for the election and monitor the process to ensure honest elections. Presently, all these positions are controlled by the deep state. It is up to we the people to be prepared with a proper education and take back our unalienable rights of consent once the swamp is drained. Join us. The saving of America rests on our shoulders because once we turn the page in Washington and our state capitals, it will only be a matter of time until we return back to the mire if proactive, educated patriots are not there to redirect power back to the people. So be part of the solution and take the following 5 steps to join us. 1. Go to nationallibertyalliance.org and join our effort to constitutionally take back America as our founding fathers envisioned. 2. Take our free civics and constitutional courses. A higher education is also available under our education tab. 3. Attend our Monday night teleconferences for details to join us Click on our weekly call. If you cannot join us live, download the call found on the same page. 4. Support our campaign for constitutional sheriffs. Click the banner on our front page. And 5. Support National Liberty Alliance financially by giving us $5 a month or more. That's only $60 a year. So $5 a month or more, most people should be able to afford. Please take your responsibility seriously. The future of America is depending on it. Join the revolution to take back America. NationalLibertyAlliance.org